What if I told you the worst season of your life could actually turn into the best idea of your life? Today, I'll share with you the story of a simple farmer whose biggest failure turned into a life-changing opportunity. Stay with me, because this story might just change the way you look at your own problems. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a hardworking farmer named Ram. Every morning before sunrise, he would walk to his fields, praying for rain, good soil, and a good harvest. That year, however, nature had other plans. The monsoon came late, the soil dried up, and pests destroyed what little crop he had left. For months, he had invested his energy, his money, and his heart into growing food not just for himself, but for the entire community. But when harvest season came, his field stood almost empty. His family was worried. Neighbors whispered, "This year Ram will be ruined." Even the local lender knocked on his door asking for repayment. Ram sat one evening, staring at his dry fields, feeling like a failure. He thought, "Why me? Why does life test me this way?" But in that moment of silence, something unusual happened. A small thought struck his mind, a thought that would change everything. While sitting in despair, Ram noticed something strange. The only plants that survived in his field were a few local wild herbs. Unlike his crop, these herbs grew strong even without much water or care. Out of curiosity, he picked a few and took them home. His grandmother, an old village healer, smiled and said, "These herbs are not useless, Ram. They are medicine." That sentence hit him hard. He realized, while everyone else in the village focused only on traditional crops like wheat and rice, no one was paying attention to these medicinal herbs that grew naturally in the soil. Ram started researching. He walked to nearby villages, met herbal doctors, and learned about the demand for these herbs in cities. He discovered that companies paid high prices for natural medicines, teas, and organic powders. Suddenly, his failure didn't look like the end. It looked like a doorway. He thought, if my land cannot grow rice this year, maybe it can grow something else, something that nature itself wants to grow here. That night, instead of crying over his losses, he planned something bold. The next season, Ram did something that shocked the entire village. Instead of planting the usual crops, he dedicated his entire land to cultivating medicinal herbs and drought-resistant plants. People laughed at him. "Who will buy these weeds?" they mocked. "Ram has gone mad." But he didn't stop. Day by day, he carefully grew and harvested the herbs, dried them, and packed them neatly. He learned how to make herbal tea, natural powders, and even soaps from them. Months later, when traders from the nearby town visited, they were surprised to see his collection. One trader told him, "Do you know how valuable these are in the market? We can export them." Slowly, orders began to pour in. What once looked like useless plants became his source of income. Within 2 years, Ram's small farm turned into a successful herbal business. The same neighbors who laughed at him now came to learn from him. He trained other farmers in the village to diversify their crops and use their land differently. Ram's failure had not only saved him, but also changed the fate of his entire community. One evening, sitting under the same tree where he once cried in despair, Ram smiled. He realized something powerful. Problems are not always punishments. Sometimes they are hidden opportunities waiting to be discovered. If that season had not failed, he would have never looked at those herbs. He would have never started his herbal venture. He would have remained just another farmer, struggling every year, waiting for rain. Instead, his worst failure forced him to think differently, to notice what others ignored, and to find opportunity in disguise. Ram's story teaches us that sometimes life pushes us out of our comfort zone because it wants us to discover a new path. So, dear friends, remember this. The next time life doesn't go your way, don't just see the problem. Look deeper. Maybe it's not the end, but a new beginning. If a farmer can turn failure into a business, what hidden opportunity is waiting inside your struggles? Tell me in the comments, have you ever faced a problem that secretly became a blessing in disguise? I'd love to hear your story.